Hello. I'm going to be back on in 2 minutes.
Oh, check your trophy.
I'm on hold with Coach Relations.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait a couple more minutes until people jump on, and then I will start.
Yeah.
Ding dong. I don't even know if my kids are sleeping. It's very quiet up there. It's either a good thing or a bad thing. I called Coach Relations and they put me on hold and trying to fix something for me. So I am just going to start. I'm sure as soon as I start, they will interrupt me. So I just want to say this is the last day of the month, and I am like freaking proud of us because it was a freaking tough month. And you guys did not give up. You really didn't. You really came through. I know some of you are like still pushing. You have until 11 o'clock p.m. To, get those orders. And, you never know. I'm actually going to talk about it tonight, but let me turn this down. You never know. The answer is always no if you don't ask, right? And some months you might have to put yourself into some uncomfortable situations of, needing to kind of be bluntly asking people. But the good thing is, like you're asking them to, here's this crap, and I don't think it's going to work. It's really going to change their lives. So, never feel like icky or anything else like that. These months are going to be a little harder because, you have the holidays and you have people wearing more clothes. So when people wear more clothes, they're like, maybe I don't have to lose weight. And so what you have to do then is you really need to get to the heart of the matter of what our programs really do, which is they go above and beyond just, losing weight and stuff. And you really do have to be consistent. You do have to kind of up your value. So what's good about October is the 21-day fix, the 21-day fix extreme, and Body Beast will be on sale for $140. So for most of us, the 21-day fix is our premier product. It's the one we're most comfortable with. It's the easiest one to turnkey. For me, I've actually signed a few coaches in these last couple of days with the 21-day fix because they've never done any kind of Beachbody, but they actually want to work the business. And so I've told them that that's really the product that they want to do because it's going to allow them to have a multifaceted program where they're going to teach somebody their nutrition, the workout, and then the shake. So I just want to say thank you for doing your best this September. If you did not get to Success Club, I really don't want you to take that and look at it as a sign that you can't do this. It just simply means that you need to look at a different approach to do things. And, you know, tomorrow we all start with 0. And it is the great equalizer. And so no matter what your September looked like, your October can be whatever you need it to be. I will tell you that I have been the most consistent as I have ever been in my whole freaking life. And it has paid off. It has paid off, I feel like, in my coaching business, in terms of my relationship with my coaches. It's paid off. Hello? Oh, I'm doing my team call. Hold on for a second, guys. Go ahead. Okay, and will she get the 2 Success Club points for September then? Yeah, because go ahead, I'm sorry. Because I've never heard of when you move orders between CBCs that you would lose challenge pack points. You know what I mean? Uh, okay, so yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So you'll handle that for me. Okay. Sorry about that. It's the end of the month. She didn't want to interrupt our team call. She was like waiting there. You guys really did well in September. I actually feel like because you guys did so well in September, you're going to reap even more rewards in October. What I was saying is this is the most consistent I've been. And let me tell you something. From September 1st to September 21st, I didn't have really anybody contacting me. And if I would have stopped like September 20th and been like, screw it, nobody's contacting me, I'm showing up every day, nobody's calling me, like I would have missed out on all these amazing people that I have contacting me now. I have like tons and tons of messages. And I'm not even saying to people like, hey, join me. They're like, hey, how do I get into your group? What are you doing? You look amazing, that kind of thing. So that takes people to, keep and watch you. And sometimes you think that nobody's watching you and it's just when you think like nobody's paying attention that you decide to do it one more time that it just clicks like that. And so for October, I wanted us to do something. And I really don't want to create another group because you guys have a ton of groups. And what I wanted to do is I want you to get a calendar. And it could be a calendar that you already have. It could be one that you print out. It could be one of the dry erases, whatever you want. And I want you to really keep track and every day that you show up for the month of October. And what do I mean by showing up? It means that your mental energy is positive towards your business. It means that you're committed to a program and doing your program or doing something. And it means that you show up on social media. And because I believe if you do those three things, you really can't go wrong at all. And so what I thought would be fun is that if we kept that calendar, and the reason I say keep a calendar is because I have been keeping a calendar with Danielle, and it became this running joke of like sobriety. And I'm not making fun of sobriety, please. But like, you know how they give you the coins for every 30 days. So I was joking with her. I was like, if I could stay calm for 30 days and like stay positive, like I'm going to get my little token or whatever. So I just think it's important that you guys actually physically make a mark on a calendar that, yes, I showed up, I did what I was supposed to do. And I'm telling you, it's going to change your business. And so in New Jersey, we had the 3 vital behaviors training. And basically, they spent a lot of time talking about the inviting portion of 3 vital behaviors. And the reason they did that is because the inviting part is the part that everybody struggles with. Most people drink a shake. Most people hopefully are doing personal development. But for the most part, it's the inviting part that people either feel icky or they're not sure how to do it, or they're not sure where they're going to get their people from. And so they spent a lot of time talking about that. And so the first bubble we want to talk about with inviting and the 3 vital behaviors is friends and family. How many people have felt funny about talking about the products with family members? Raise your hand. Right? And I actually started my business and I didn't tell any of my family. Like the only family actually I told was my mom and my mother-in-law, and I kind of forced them to drink Shakeology. I just was like, yeah, I'm ordering this for you, and it's going to come to your house, and I'll just write you a check for what it was. And thankfully, they actually liked it, and they still use it. But I really felt uncomfortable talking to my friends. And in fact, when my friends were in my house about, like, I would never say anything about Shakeology. And then when I did have friends that asked me and they did join me, I like made the biggest mistake because I treated them like a customer. And it pissed them off. And it should piss them off, right? Because why would I treat a family member or a friend like a customer? And it was because in my mind, it was like, well, I didn't want them to think that I was taking advantage of them and all this other stuff. And so sometimes with friends and family, we kind of screw things up because we bring too much stuff to the table, right? Like if we don't get along with our sister, or if we think our cousin is always jealous of us, like all that other stuff. And so the best way you can get your friends and family involved is really just by being a product of the product, because eventually your friends are going to keep watching you. They're going to watch that you don't give up. They're going to watch your business succeed. They're going to watch that, hey, she's still drinking that shake. And they will eventually come around. Like my best friend just became a coach, like I think in this year, and I've been doing this 3 years. One of my girlfriends in Florida, every summer she would make fun of me and my shake and all this other stuff. And her husband actually became a customer before she did. And it was only until she figured out that I was making more money than what she did with a full-time job and a master's in social work that she was like, I think you need to explain to me what you're doing. And so when you always kind of keep an open mind with people and your friends and family, eventually they'll come around and eventually they won't. Like I have people who are my family that are blocked from Facebook because of stuff that they had said about me and stuff like that. So I did them the favor that I just blocked them. And so make sure that you're not bringing kind of that baggage to family relationships and things like that. And so the next thing that people want to talk about is expanding their network. Because even if you do have your friends and family, you're like, what if I run out of people? Like that's always people's like number one question. They're like, Kim, what if I run out of people? Oh my goodness, what if I run out of people? I think I've talked to everybody. And it's like, no, you have not. You really haven't. And so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to answer some questions for me. How many people belong to have kids in school? Raise your hand. How many people belong to like a girls' night out group or a bunco group or a, book club? How many people have another job besides Beachbody? How many people have a spouse that works? How many people went to high school? You see where I'm getting at, right? All of these places, there's people. And the thing is that, you're not going to show up. Like, I'm not going to show up at the Republican Club, because yes, I am a Republican, but I'm not going to show up at the Republican Club and be like, hey, here's my samples of Shakeology. I'm not going to do that, but I am going to have conversations with people, and I am going to try to have conversations with at least 3 people that I don't know. And I'm going to try to friend them on Facebook or get their information. And I actually don't put pressure on myself when I meet somebody. I don't put pressure on myself to even mention Beachbody or Shakeology. The only time I will mention it is if somebody asks what I do. But otherwise, I try to keep that initial meeting to just focusing on them and just creating a friendship and a connection. And sometimes when you take that pressure off of yourself, when you go new places to meet new people, it allows you to just naturally have rapport and a connection with people, because eventually they're going to know what you do, because they're going to follow you on Facebook or whatever, or see what you're doing. And I just think that secretly people stalk you. At least they did me. And they'll find out. And so the one thing you really need to do is just focus on talking to new people. And I know for those of us who are shy and introverted, like, you would probably rather have a root canal. But if you want to be successful in this business, you have to like people. Yeah. And even if you don't like people all the time, a little bit of your time needs to be spent on connecting with people. And it can just be the people who check you out at the grocery store. I mean, like, people who work at the grocery store usually don't want to keep working at the grocery store. And so when you make connections with them and you talk to them, you can start conversations. I remember I started a conversation with a guy at Trader Joe's about like whether he liked working there and stuff. And then I told him what I did. And so you never know where a conversation will lead you, and don't put pressure on yourself that it needs to lead you anywhere. And just make it, make it practice for talking to people, and don't make it like, oh, I have to have a challenge pack sale or whatever. And so I want you to think about your favorite brands right now. And I want you to write your 3 favorite brands right now. Write down if you have paper. Like, for me, it's probably Apple. It's Victoria's Secret. And probably Target. And I want you to think about, do they just sell to everybody? Like, are they just trying to get everybody to walk into their store? Or do you think they're really specific about who they're trying to get? Like, do you think the people at Target sit around a board meeting and talk about the same people that the people in Walmart talk about? I actually like Walmart, so I'm not making fun of it. But I really don't think that they're having a boardroom meeting and thinking, yes, we want like this person. Hold on, the lady's back. Hello? Awesome. Thank you. Yes. Thanks. Okay. So the reason I asked you to think about your brands is because there's a reason why you like those brands. They did something for you that stood out. And so when you want to stand out as a Beachbody coach, you need to think about who you're trying to get. Like, I don't try to get everybody. I don't want everybody. I kind of want to work with people who are kind of like me. It makes your job so much easier. And so you need to figure out, are you just kind of generally putting these kind of Facebook posts out, or are you really thinking about what people need? Like all this week, I made videos on my Facebook page about like easy meals that I did. And every one of them, I say, I'm a working mom. I'm on the football field 4 nights a week. This is what I do to feed my family. And I give them like a simple recipe. And I did it all in one sitting. Like literally, it probably took me maybe 15 minutes. And I have a week's worth of videos that are already done. And so that's speaking to the working moms and stuff that I'm talking to. And so you need to make sure of who you're trying to reach. And so one of the things that you can do for homework is, what are 10 things that you think the people that you're trying to reach would want to see? It can be something stupid. Like I posted the other day, like there was this baby like in chocolate. And I said that, you know, like that was me the day before my period. And that was like really popular and stuff. So it doesn't have to be like so Beachbody. It can just be something that people are going to like and they're going to comment on. And I get so many more likes on my Facebook page when I post those viral kind of videos, because what people do is they post somebody else's name. They'll be like, oh, Mary Sue, you know, like on my post, come look at the baby in the chocolate. And then Mary Sue goes and looks at the baby in the chocolate and they're like, oh, who's this Chick Fit Kim kid? I want to see what she's doing. And then they like. So you really want to do that to get more people coming to you. The next thing I will say, you'll probably freak out. If you're using your Facebook profile, it should be public. I know you're scared of that. I was never really scared of that. I don't know. I've never, in 3 years, I've never really had a problem. I do take my location services off though, off my Facebook. So that kind of is better. And the thing is that you don't have to make every post public. So, you know, pictures of your kids and all that other stuff, you know, you can make that private. But here's the thing. If you're trying to connect with moms and you're hiding all your pictures of being a mom, I don't know if that's going to work, you know? So, I mean, I am not going to, obviously, I don't want to jeopardize your safety or if you feel uncomfortable with that. But it does help to have a public profile. The next thing is, where did I go? So make a list of the 10 things your people want to see or hear. Like the other day, this morning, I did a video that I will post for next week. I've been doing a lot of my videos ahead of time. I write my ideas down, and then when I'm dressed and I look normal, I will do the videos. Like I did the 5 top reasons why I think you're not losing weight. And I did that quick video there. I did the 5 things that are in my diet every day. And that is still like going. People are still posting on that. And we're not talking about like genius ideas. We're not talking about things that, you know, would take a lot of thought. People like numbers. People like 5, 3, the number 1 secret I have to staying, you know, 1, 2, 3. People love numbers, that thing. So the next thing is, and this is actually from Instagram, but it can actually go for other places. Don't be afraid when you post to ask people to like it, to ask people to comment, and ask people to share it, or ask people to tag people, because that's how other people who don't know you get to see you. So for instance, like, you know, like on Instagram, I'll say, you know, double tap if you got your workout in, or, you know, comment what your favorite body part is. Make sure you have a call to action. Tag your best friend, tag somebody that has PMS. I don't know. I'm just thinking of things now, but have a call to action. Have people, make them like your stuff, make them share your stuff on doing that. The next thing is ask for referrals. I know Karen is huge on this in getting people to ask for referrals. I think for me, I don't cold message people, but I am actually thinking in October, because I want that meeting with Carl Deichler. I'm actually thinking of messaging every one of my friends that's on a Beachbody coach and saying, hey, I'm really looking for women who are looking to lose weight. I'm looking for testimonials. If you know anybody that this would fit this, or I'm actually thinking of, I'm looking to hire, I'm looking for people to join my team and stuff like that. Because how could you get offended? And if you're offended that I asked you that question, then you probably shouldn't be my Facebook friend anyway. And most of the time when you ask people for a referral, and it's a way to say to them, hey, I think you should do this, but I'm too afraid to ask you. So I'm going to ask you if you have any friends. And then that person is going to be like, well, tell me about this. There's a 3-day refresh and I can lose 6 pounds in 10 days because I think I need to know that. And so asking for referrals is a really easy way for you to go through your Facebook friends list and just try it. What's the worst thing that can do? And so the last way that you expand your network so that you can invite is to add 5 new people a day. And I say 3, other people say 5. And those 5 new people, they don't have to be just on social media. They can be if you met a mom at football, you look her up on Facebook and send her a friend request or anything like that. And the thing is that when you do that stuff, little by little each day, it adds up. And then the last thing I wanted to add is the hey girl kind of messages, or hey dude. And those are kind of easy to do because you're just saying hey, what are you up to? That kind of stuff. And it's actually kind of a cool way to make somebody feel good. You could send them a compliment, or just be like, hey, I like, your ring that you had on, or something, but be authentic. Don't be cheesy. And then another thing I do, and I actually really didn't realize I did it, but I do it, is spread out, I call them kindness seeds. And what I mean is when somebody posts something on Facebook, post something nice. When people post pictures of their kid, they're posting it so that you tell them that their kid is very cute. So do that for them. If they post a picture, I hate when people post a picture of themselves and nobody comments on it. That makes me feel bad for the person. So I have to save them, and I want to tell them oh, I like your dress or whatever. And I honestly do it to be authentic, and I just naturally do it. I actually never realized I was doing it as part of my business, and it makes a difference. I've gotten a little bolder. I was telling a couple of coaches, somebody posted on their thing that they're looking for a job. And I was like, really? Because I think you should be a coach. And I really thought that the lady was going to be like, yeah, right. And she's like, you know what, Kim? She's like, I actually thought about that. And I was like, hey, let's talk about it. So be a little brazen. What's the worst thing they could do is say no. And so tomorrow is October, and we're all going to be at a big old 0. And so how do you drive your business forward? How do you really drive your business forward? Well, the first thing is you need to have a challenge group. You need to somehow have a challenge group. And then some of you are like, but Kim, I just started one in September. And it's yeah, you got to do it again. And your challenge group doesn't have to start until the end of October, or maybe even starts November 1st. But those people have to order. So you have to start building them up, giving them the the information that they need. This would be a good time to commit the 21-day fix. You got 21 days. That's like what, September 21st, you'd be done. And then you'll have amazing results or whatever, or people have been following you for that 21 days, or even if you're doing Body Beast, it allows people to follow you and see what you're doing. The next thing is pick a program to commit to. Whatever that program is. For me, it's still Insanity Max 30, but people need to see you doing a program so that they see the consistency of it. And then up your coach life posts. People need to know your coach. You trust me. Coaching actually is not about making a ton of money. I mean, yes, that is out there and that's a definite thing. But for most of us, the reason we're a coach is because we've dramatically changed our lives. So share with people how freaking happy you are. Share with people how your life has changed. Share with people how you used to be as opposed to how you are now. Those things build up when people are watching you. And when you do them over the course of a month, you'll get to Success Club. And then the last thing is you really do need to invite people. And what that means is that inviting could be like, hey, join my group, or, like send somebody, messages about, how they're doing, things like that. If you consistently do those behaviors, you will hit Success Club. I know it, I believe it, and I've lived it. And so I've talked a blue streak, but, some of you coaches are actually starting to read it already. It's called The Morning Miracle by Hal Elrod. That is the reason why I get up 5 o'clock every morning and I enjoy it. I actually don't even need a alarm clock anymore. My body just automatically gets up. And it is a life-changing book because it's not just about getting up early. It's about changing your feelings about things. It's about changing your energy. And, I don't know if you can tell yourself, but I am completely changed person. And I really, truly believe that book played a huge role along with other things. So if you are thinking of looking for a self-development book, that is a great one to pick up. So I'm going to unmute everybody. And if anybody has any questions, you can ask.
Ruben, come here.
Somebody's getting yelled at.
What's the name of the book you said?
It's called The Morning Miracle, and it's Hal Elrod. I think it's E-L-R-O-D. It's an amazing book. I'm actually thinking of doing a challenge group on it because it actually includes a 30-day challenge where you have to get up early in the morning. You have to exercise. People are like, no, I like to sleep. I get it. I used to be a night owl. I used to like to sleep too. But when you see the amount of how your life changes, like my house is not cluttered anymore. My house, just so much responsibility. Well, I don't want to keep you anymore, you lovely ladies, but thank you. You're doing an amazing job. I think people have we're like just starting to see the greatness. So even though we've had a lot of greatness, man, we're just getting started. And I appreciate you being on the call, and I appreciate you showing up every day in your lives and in the lives of everyone else. So thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.